Right, so chapter 1, concept 4, it's all about multiplying real numbers. So we are going to start off with some mathematical terminology that you probably already know about. You just don't have a name for it maybe. So let's take a look at these four. So the first one's identity property of multiplication. So basically what this is you can take, for example, the numbers 4 times 5, and you get 20. And you can also take 5 times 4 and get 20. So it doesn't matter the order, is pretty much what the identity property of multiplication is. Multiplication property of 0, say you take 8 times 0, you get 0. And 0 times 8, you get 0. So any number times 0 is going to get you 0. Next is going to be the multiplication property of -1. So when we take a number, let's say -6 times, 6 times -1, we get -6. And if we were to take -5 times -1, we would get +5. So notice that a positive times a negative is getting us a negative here, and a negative times a negative is getting us a positive. Inverse property of multiplication is going to be, let's say 4, so times its reciprocal. So let's go ahead and write that word out and define it. Or the shortened, not really regular definition, but reciprocal basically just means flip the fraction. So 4 is really 4 over 1. So if we flip it, it's 1 over 4, and that is going to give us 1 when we multiply it by its reciprocal. So if we took 2/3 and we multiply it by its reciprocal, 3/2, we would get 1. So multiplying numbers with the same sign will always give you a positive answer. Positive. One I. No I there. So if we think of it like good things happening to good people is good, then that would be positive times positive is going to give you a positive. And if we think of bad things happening to bad people, that's good. So negative times a negative giving us a positive, kind of relating to that bad as being negative and negative being a positive. So if we multiply numbers with different signs, then that would look like giving us a negative answer. So good things happening to bad people is bad. And bad things happening to good people is bad. So that would look like a positive times a negative is negative. And a negative times a positive is a negative. So let's go ahead and take a look at this section here. And let's go ahead and fill in the signs first. So if we just have one negative, then we know it's going to be negative. Two negatives, we know it's going to be positive. Two negatives, positive. One negative, negative. And then you could go ahead and fill those in when you do get to those. So what we're going to do is just now go back through and we are going to multiply. Now before we do that, let's go ahead and turn to the page in the back of your SSS, and we're going to fill in a multiplication table because it's really important that you know your multiplication facts well. All right, so here's your multiplication table that's in the back without that little thingy there, and you're going to just go ahead and fill it in. So pause the video and fill in that chart as quickly as you can. So pause and try it. All right, so hopefully your chart's filled in, and let's go ahead and go back to this section, and we are going to fill in our multiplication here. So 8 times 10 is 80. Oops. Let me pen back. And 3 times 7 is 21. And we've already got our signs filled in, so we're good there. 10 times 6 is 60, and 4 times 8 is 32. All right, so go ahead and pause and finish this section right here. Try it. All right, so if you're multiplying three things, it's basically the same rule at the top there. We are going to have one negative, or if there's one negative, then our answer is going to be negative. If we have two negatives, then our answer is going to be positive. And if we have three negatives, then our answer is going to be negative. Okay, so basically, if it's an odd number of negatives, it's negative. But if it's an even number, then it's positive. All right, so let's go ahead and fill in our signs for these. So 1, that's negative. 2, that's positive. 2, that's positive. 1, negative. 3, that's negative. All right, so now to multiply, we're going to take it 2 at a time. So 9 times 1 is 9, times 4 is 36. 8 times 5, that's 40, times 10, that's 400. Now it doesn't matter what order that you go in. So you could, if it's easier to go backwards, you can go backwards, just as long as you multiply everything together. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 4 is 36. 5 times 6 is 30, times 9 is 270. 7 times 4, or 7 times 4, is 28. Times 7, 56, carry the 5. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 5 is 19, so 196. Go ahead and try this next column on your own.